So, guys, on another developing story, Bashir Ahmad, who was Buhari's aide and those who perpetrated the illegal arrest and kidnapping of Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya, recently came out because he saw how Yele Sowore, Atiku Abubakar, even his own brother Atiku Abubakar and co, we are calling for the unconditional release of this particular man. He came out and he became angry. I'm going to show you what he said and how Nigerians came out and attacked him. This was the same man who said he supports death by blasphemy. This is, in fact, he's an Islamic extremist. And this is the kind of, when the United States and other senators start to talk about the systematic genocide against Christians, many people won't understand the Islamization agenda. But that is another story for another day. He came out today and started attacking those calling for the conditional release of Nnamdi Kanu and those who are intending to protest for the federal government to release Nnamdi Kanu. Remember, Yele Sowore fixed 20th of October as a day to march towards Aso and tell Bola Tinubu enough of the sham trial of this particular man, release him unconditionally and let him go free. He can't be negotiating with terrorists in the northern part of the country and be persecuting freedom fighters. So this Bashir Ahmad now came out and said something very, very funny. He said, "It is a grave betrayal to the innocent lives lost and the countries and the countless," this is what that Bashir Ahmed was saying, but let us read that "it is a grave betrayal to the innocent lives lost and the countless victims of IPOB's brutality to call for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. This is a man who deliberately incited violence, engineered killings, and unleashed destruction across the southeast and other parts of Nigeria. His actions tore families apart, destabilized communities, and left deep scars on our nation." This is what Bashir Ahmad said. Like I said, he was he was Buhari's aide, so he was part and parcel of those who actually went to Kenya to kidnap this particular man. Now, he was saying that Nnamdi Kanu's actions caused this and that and that and that and that. Like I've often said it here, that if it's not for the way Buhari's government, I've often said it that if not for the way Buhari's government mismanaged the entire situation, the issue of the agitation in the Southeast region couldn't have escalated to this particular point. A sensible government, these people came out and told you, okay, look at what we want. We feel like we are marginalized, and they believe that they have the right to self-determination, which is enshrined in the UN Charter and all that. A sensible government could have called them for a roundtable discussion. Say, okay, fine, what are your grievances? What do you want? And why are you angry? Why are you seeking for secession? What is it that you want us to do? At least make efforts to try to make reconciliatory efforts, not using kinetic approaches. Sorry, I'm going to continue with this and show you how people criticize him and showed his prejudice and his bias. People said, why didn't Buhari offer reconciliatory approach, or probably a peaceful approach of negotiation and all that? But he used the kinetic approach. He started sending in military, pumping in military to a region that was not even there was no high tension of insecurity there or probably anything. He started pumping in military using the kinetic approach, pumping in security and all that, and this escalated the entire issue. And criminals hijacked the opportunity. Of course, remember, some of these criminals were even sponsored by the government to make sure that they scattered everything that is actually happening in the Southeast region. Some political, even the opposite them, and a lot of them, some political people and some of their political opponents started, recruiting these men to, be fight under the umbrella of this and that, to be attacking their political opponents and all that in the entire Southeast region. So you could see that it is how Buhari's government mismanaged the entire situation that escalated this entire issue. Till now. So Bashir Ahmed is coming out to say this and that happened, Now, the continuous detention of this particular man has kept on escalating this issue. Does it make any sense to keep on keeping this particular man in detention? Meanwhile, people are now asking him, you that is Bashir Ahmad, that is actually saying this and that, you right before your nose, your brothers over there in the north called for a meeting between bandits and communities. You did not say anything. Your mouth kept shut. You gave deaf or blind eyes to it. He did not react to it. He did not say anything about it. In fact, some of you were in full support. Somebody like Sheikh Gumi, a prominent northern cleric, came out and warned the security agencies and the government not to interfere in the peace deal between the bandits and that. This Bashir Ahmad did not say anything. Remember, Buhari just picked this particular Bashir Ahmad. He was an Amajiri, and Buhari picked him up from the street and made him an aide. This was a man that has professed that he has extreme views, that if anybody commits blasphemy and insults their prophet, that the person should be unalived and all that. And Nigeria as a country, and this is the fear of a lot of people, allow this particular person to be in Aso as an aide to the president that is actually governing both the Christians and Muslims in the country. To tell you that the country have different ideology. That's why a lot of people are saying we should go separate ways. Because imagine the dangers, the secret dangers this aide caused while he was in Aso somebody that has, in fact, that is an ethnic and religious bigot, and you allow the person to be in the corridors of power. He was an aide, meaning he was advising Buhari. He was the one signing some documents and co. So imagine what he could have done secretly that nobody knew till now when he was in Asorok. And when people say we are no longer comfortable in a setting whereby religious extremists are being rewarded, religious extremists are being rewarded and allowed to be key decision makers in the country. That means, of course, that is why they had the Muslim ticket in a multi-religious country like Nigeria. And you expect the Christians and the Igbos, who are majorly Christians, to be comfortable in such regard. So this man, being Bashir Ahmad, kept quiet in the face of this entire negotiation between terrorists and bandits in the north, but he has actually found his voice whenever it comes to, the case of Nnamdi Kanu. He was shocked yesterday when Atiku Abubakar, his own brother, and some other northerners came out and told Bola Tinubu it's high time to free this particular man. Enough is enough. And he was shocked when Yele Sowore. So he was further scared or shocked when Yele Sowore picked 20th of October as the day to march towards Asorok to demand for the unconditional release of this particular man. Like I've said, Nigeria is a very funny country whereby religious extremists now have a say against freedom fighters. This is a religious extremist being Bashir Ahmad. He doesn't have any job. He doesn't have any job. His own job is just to eat from the pocket of the government. And he's coming to say this and that and that and that and that. These are people who intentionally do not want the Southeast or probably the Igbo. He has an intrinsic hatred for the Igbos. You've been following him, and if you've been following his tweets and what he has been saying, he doesn't like the Igbo region. So what he wants, these are people that simply want the Igbo region to keep on being chaos. In fact, they want it to be like the Sambisa forest. That was what Buhari wanted, and some Igbos fell for it. He wanted the Southeast to be like the Sambisa, probably some core northern areas that have been terrorized, so that whenever they mention insecurity, they will call the Southeast, which is what Buhari wanted. And some Igbos fell in for their trap. Instead of them to apply caution and use their senses to know that this government wants to turn our eastern region to Afghanistan, so that investors and investments will not come. And many of them fell for that particular incident. This is one of them that enjoys the pain, the insecurity in the Southeastern region. They are happy whenever they hear that, oh, the Southeast is boiling this and that, because that is what they wanted. This was a region that never experienced any kind of insecurity. The region was booming. Businesses were going. But Buhari intentionally orchestrated this particular act to ensure that this entire Southeast region, was totally destroyed. And many Igbos fell for this gimmick. And this is like a reverse psychology. Buhari, did it with these were his aides. These were people advising Buhari. They knew what they were doing because they really wanted to make sure that the entire Southeast region was turned into Sambisa forest. And that is what is happening now. Go to some communities in the Southeast, they have been deserted. Markets are no longer working. Businesses are no longer moving. People are moving out. This is what they wanted. And some of them funded, I can boldly tell you this, and some of them funded these militant groups in the Southeastern region through some of the politicians we have in the Southeast. They kept on funding and even supplying them weapons so that they can destroy the entire Southeast region. So this is one of them. Being this Bashir Ahmad, a jobless man that does not have any job apart from attacking the Igbos and whatever thing that has to do with the progress of the Igbos. A very pathetic human being and a very dubious human being who does not want to see any good thing come out from the Igbo region. Well, that's basically on that particular one. Khan recently came out today and confirmed that there is genocide against Christians in Nigeria and called for global action. Remember, Bola Tinubu recruited one faction of Khan to come and denounce that particular decision. In this country, if people don't speak up, you will be alive and your right will be trampled upon. That is how we are all here in this whole country. Bola Tinubu went to the north and chose a Muslim ticket, ignored and disrespected the Christians in the country, and people kept short. Now, there have been ongoing calls that look at it, there is systematic genocide of Christians in the north. You cannot deny that. For over a couple of years, the southern Kaduna people, the middle belters, have been complaining how churches have been systematically destroyed. People have been systematically killed by these terrorists in the north. Southern Kaduna is an example, and many people are trying to say we are downplaying that it is not a systematic killing of the Christians. These Christians are killed because of their faith. And whenever these things happen, if you are killed because of your faith, then it is a systematic genocide against Christians. The Muslims that are being killed can be killed because of, not like we are in support of it, but they are killed probably because of maybe resources or other differences. But whenever it is because of your faith, it is genocide against the Christians. And the Nigerian Senate, came out and started, denying that thing, the fact that they're going to confront the US senators and co that actually raising up this particular case. Instead of them to address the issue, I made mention of the Bora's case here. Till now, Till now, the Nigerian Senate, the Nigerian House of till now, the Nigerian Senate, the Nigerian House of Reps members and co cannot, as a matter of fact, tell us what happened to Deborah's killers or Deborah's killers in Sokoto. These people came out in broad daylight and said that they did it. They showed themselves on the camera that they would do it over and over again. Till now, not even the Nigerian Senate has actually said what happened to these people. We must prosecute them and they must actually serve as an example to others that are committing such acts. They did not do that, but they are busy trying to run to the US to tell the US that there is no genocide against Christians. Meanwhile, they have not even set an example to caution those who unalive people because of or in the name of blasphemy and other things that happens in the country. And you expect that Christians will not speak up. You expect that Christians will not speak up. There is no amount of political game you are playing that will suppress the truth that there is a genocide against Christians in the country. They first of all recruited one fake, one political, Christian, can spokesperson to come and lie. They first of all came and recruited one fake Christian spokesperson to come and lie that there is no Christian genocide in the country. And people, decided to start bringing up videos and issues like this, especially the cases of Deborah and all that has not gotten justice till now. Even till now, this so-called useless Bashir Ahmad did not condemn what happened to Deborah, because he has already stated it before that he supported by blasphemy or death for blasphemy, meaning if you speak against their so-called prophet, that whatever that happens to you, you should just accept it. And these people are allowed to access corridors of power. And when we speak about when we speak about the genocide of Christians, they try to downplay it to make it look like as if we are propagandists, or probably we are spreading false sentiments and all that. But we all know the truth in this country. We all know the truth in this country, that Christians are being persecuted simply because of their faith, especially in the northern region. So there is no whitewashing and there is no form of whatever lies that can actually cover this particular truth. You cannot lie. There is no amount of lie that can actually cover this truth. No matter how you try to lie, the truth will always be revealed. This US senators started raising this alarm, and the Nigerian government became on ease, and they became scared, and they started throwing in propaganda that they are going to go to US and engage them and all that. Engage them or what? Why not first of all show workings by persecuting those who commit genocide against Christians in the country? The Owo massacre that happened in the Akure or Ondo, till now nobody has actually gotten justice over it. Nobody knows what happened. Nobody knows those that perpetrated the act and what is their fate till now. Nothing, absolutely nothing about them. But you want us to, believe that there is no genocide or systemic, murdering of Christians in the country. Go to Southern Kaduna, go to Plateau, go to Jos and go to all those countries, all those areas or states, and interview some of the residents there. They will confess and tell you, look at what we've been passing through. But because they are Christians, and probably because ethnically they are minority or anything, nobody is there to speak for them. But these people have been systematically unalived and wiped off from their communities. For some of them have been forcefully converted to Islam. But they don't want you to listen to this. They don't want you to hear this. They don't want you to speak truth to power on these particular issues. They believe that we all should keep quiet because we want Nigeria to be united, or probably because this and that and that. Well, that's basically all we have for you guys today. Please, on this particular video, if this is the first time I come across my video and you enjoy what we do here, please don't hesitate to click on the notification button so I get notified whenever we drop important videos and political updates like this. And also do well to subscribe. Please do well to subscribe. Drop your comments and like on this particular video, and drop your comment based on what you think about what this particular man being Bashir Ahmad said, and what is actually going on, the Christian genocide that the Nigerian government is trying to deny in this particular country. See you guys later. Drop your comments and share this particular video. Let it go viral.